Well, hello there, Internet. How we doing today? This is your friendly neighborhood inbred outlook. Well, I still haven't won the lottery. I'm anticipating that's going to happen pretty soon here. But, like all things, conspiracy, they keep kicking the can. I'm trying to get this set up right. It's been interesting. I mean, everybody thinks the world's just going to hell in a handbasket. I guess the whole purpose of this video is to try to let you guys know God is still in control and things are not actually looking as bad as you think they are. I think there's some good guys in control. Now, as far as this whole Ukraine, Russia thing, I wish you'd just quit. Okay? The Azov forces that the Ukraine calls their military are straight up Nazi, and they're straight up hurting their own people. And they were straight up allowing the United States, the deep state of the United States, make biological weapons there. Fun fact, it doesn't matter what you believe. That doesn't determine what's real or not. So, I mean, it's more of a matter of, are you going to believe what you're told, or are you smart enough to go research some things on your own? Some suggested reading. There's a guy called Patel Patriot. He wrote a series that's called Devolution. It's a whole website. There's like 17 or 18 parts to it now. I would suggest reading that. And then there's another one, another series called Fall of the Cabal. You can find that on Rumble. And then there's 10 original ones and 21 sequels. And I would it's all suggested watching. If you really want to know the behind the scenes of what all's going on. You know, we woke up one day and this world we thought we had that was normal just went upside down into bizarro world. I mean, it started for me the day that the day that Antifa took over and occupied, literally took over and occupied part of a U.S. city up in Washington State there. And no one said anything about it. The government didn't step in. Then, I mean, shortly after that, we started getting checks so that we had other things to think about, you know. Because, you know, like all through history, the government's been writing us and sending us checks and depositing money in our accounts, right? Like, that's not a brand new thing. Then we had this election. And I'm not even going there because if you can't go find the research for that one's easy. If you can't go find that, well, then you're just, I'm sorry. And then for the other thing that I had a bunch of videos taken down for, which is, and I'm not even going to mention how, but you are currently being culled. You're currently being exterminated. And you're being told by your government to go do something that's going to give you AIDS or make you sterile or give you neurological disorders or make your heart explode. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're really, really, really that stupid, I don't care if you're offended. I'm a Christian. Maybe not a really good one. But I think God would rather have us messy than not at all. And I think changes are coming. I think He put me into a blessing that I'm calling the lottery because it's the equivalent of what it is. And I'm waiting on it to bounce. I'm waiting on it to hit. And the future of the world is wrapped around two competing programs, or not competing programs, two parallel running programs, one called Nasara, the other called Gusara. One is national, the other's global, and they involve currency resets, currency revaluations. You don't think that stuff's happening? Go check out news from Iraq right now. That currency, which was, pretty much brutally devalued, is going to be revalued in the very near future. Other proof that things are changing is that Russia, whom I'm assuming, if you're brainwashed under the MK Ultra Mockingbird media, is now gold backed and off of the SWIFT system, which is how people transferred money country to country. Used to be. Russia's off the SWIFT system. China has got a gold back yuan. Russia's got the gold back ruble. India's working on that system. That's 3 out of the 6 billion people in the world right now that have basically told the U.S. petrodollar to go take a hike, which actually it's the opposite. It's take a dump, because the petrodollar and in turn the United States dollar, the USD, are all headed for the bottom side of the toilet. I don't think there's anything to fear here. I think we're about to flip over into something new. Well, new for us, but it's actually been around since 1776. I think look, I'm working on spiritual things, and I'm being very careful about what I say right now, but I'm working on spiritual things, and there's a lot of spiritual turmoil. I'm trying to find, we're floating in a sea of energy. We are, in fact, made of energy. Matter's made of energy. And it's, well, even Nikola Tesla said it's about energy, frequency, and vibration. I mean, anybody that you watch that's a spiritual guru is telling you got to raise your spiritual energy, and it's about spiritual energy. And that's what we are. A physical manifestation of our spiritual energy being injected into this world. That's what we are. I mean, the nature of the world you live in really is much like the Matrix. There is no spoon. Once you realize that, the rest of this is just a movie being played out for people who are dead asleep. I think we're on the verge of, if you look at, and a lot of people are going to say this is heretical, but if you look at the Bible, it's just this, our incarnation version of a cycle that's every 2,000 or 4,000 years. 4,000 year cycle does the same thing. And each of these 4,000 years before us had their own saviors, and the stories are just identically the same. I mean, I watched the beginning of a movie, even though it's a movie that tends toward communism and the folks that we don't like. Um, I'm trying to think of the name of that movie series. Zeitgeist. It is very not Christian, but it does point out a lot of similarities. The things that they said weren't untrue. I think it's the force of God imagining himself and re-entering and resaving each age, 4,000 year age as it goes. So we just hit the end of an age. We ended the, what was the age of Pisces, and now we're in the age of Aquarius. So it's supposed to be a great awakening, as happens every 4,000 years, if you want to believe some people in history. Like I said, I am a Christian. I do believe in Jesus. Or Yeshua, which I think it's weird that grew up and his name was Jesus and now his name's Joshua, but there's another Joshua in the Bible, so, you know. And then there's this whole big argument about, well, there's missing books of the Bible, or there's all kinds of new books of the Bible coming out. Well, what happens if aliens are real? Is that going to destroy your faith in God? I look at the miracles that I have and the things that I've received for the things that I've prayed for out of desperation and watched them handed to me. And in the case of this, what I'm calling lottery, it's another one where something, if it comes to fruition, is just extraordinary things handed to me by what I term and what I believe in and what I feel is God. And that's different for everybody. And a lot of people are gonna disagree and say I'm being heretical, but I'm not. God is a loving force. He says all through the Bible, God is love. God is a loving force that binds us all together. You know? And just like there's two sides to every coin, there's another side that's Satan. And that's who these people are that are enslaving you into this matrix. We're about to hit a point where everything you believe is going to be turned upside down and called a lie. For some of us, it's going to be a good thing, and for some of you, it's not so much. I only want to give this encouragement, okay? This encouragement, whether you believe in God, whether you're religious or not, okay? There is a God who loves you. You don't have to go to church to discover him. You can look inside your heart. Your consciousness in this world tells you that this ain't right. It ain't supposed to be right. We're in a bizarro world, and I think it's about to be fixed. If you want to believe the Q stuff, go that route. If you want to believe existential and hippy dippy stuff, go that route. But we're on the verge of an awakening. We're about to be elevated, and we're about to be freed. And you need to just remember that your faith is a very, very important thing. As you believe things and you speak them into the world, they can be like guardrails of the road that your future travels on. And if you're constantly speaking loving, positive, good things, then you're going to have a brighter future than somebody who's casting negativity into their own path. Words are, truth bombs, lies, negativity, positivity. whether born of depression or just, whatever, will put things in your path you're going to have to climb back over. So try to think positive. There's a changeover coming. There's a changing of the guard coming. And you need to be positive about it. And love is the force that binds us all together. You need to try to start hooking into that and quit thinking negatively about each other and try to work together. We're going to need each other. Joe Biden just told you his plan. He had in two different speeches, he said, there's a new world order and we're going to lead it. And then in the very next speech I seen him do, there's a food shortage coming. As in we, the people who have been ruling your government and you who stole an election, are about to starve you to death. That's until you find out what else they're doing to kill you off. And you're going to start questioning a lot of things, and you need to remember, the only thing you really have, the only thing that matters, that counts in this world, money is just a matter of value. The only thing that actually counts in this world is your worth to the people around you. If you treat these people with love, you'll be valuable. If you treat these people without love, then you won't be. And what happens to folks that are not valuable? They get ejected. So, I want to just be encouraging. I said, I'm a Christian. I'm not going to deny God, and I'm not going to deny Jesus. But I'm not going to deny that organized religion, as we know, could be wrong. Faith is an important thing. It's a big part of the energy that your spirit and soul pump into this physical world. And faith can move mountains. That is a true statement, whether it's a faith, a religious faith, or the law of attraction, which is basically faith without God and Jesus. Either way are mechanics of the universe, which your human senses can only perceive this much of. The spiritual world, the spiritual realm is we don't know. We can't perceive it with our five senses. There's a sixth sense, and you want to add time to it. There's just so many. It's like a diamond with all these different facets, and whichever way you look at it, different ways it gleams. Reality's a lot more than you can see, smell, hear, touch, or taste. A lot of it is just perception. And you're being hoodwinked. Your perception's being stolen. Your emotional energy, which you project into the world, as being stolen and harnessed. You're enslaved by the ideas that they're giving you, and you need to break free from that. I mean, even the greatest philosopher and the father of our Western philosophy, Rene Descartes, boiled everything down to, well, I'm going to cut off anything that can be doubted, and came down to one immutable fact. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. He made a statement. My consciousness is the only thing I can't deny. So when meditating, think about that. Your consciousness is the only thing that can be denied, because all your other senses can be fooled. All your other sensibilities can be fooled. Is the world round? Is the world flat? Who knows? My position is, who cares? How's that going to change how me and my neighbors get through this real tough time that's going to happen? So, you know what? It's going to get tough. You should be preparing and prepping. We've been telling you for years. Everybody's been telling you for years. You should be prepping. So, But you should also be trying to think, how did we get here? Was it just our being lazy and believing what we're being spoon fed? Our just really stupid ability to just trust whatever came across the TV or whatever's written on the internet, because if it's on TV and it's on the internet, it must be true. No. Nor do I suggest sticking your head in the sand and believe in every word of the Bible just, at shallow value, because I think it's highly layered. I think the Bible's just the beginning of the gateway. Spirituality and communication with the loving God that created all of the universe. And no, we're not the only ones. No, I have not met an alien. I do not converse with little green men, but I've seen the ships. I know they're out there. So it'd make no sense at all if we were the only creation, because God made us dumb enough to build nuclear weapons where we could kill ourselves. What's he going to do? Start over? No, I don't believe that. I believe God made many other races, and there's a few of them been around. Some are helping us, and some are not. Some are, and that's what this is, a big O spiritual war, and it's a big O galactic war that's being fought out of our sight. We're just pawns in a bigger game. We're pawns in a spiritual game. There's different layers. I mean, even all you Star Trekkies out there, I'm a big Trekkie nerd. But no, I mean, all matter resonates at a specific frequency in our known universe, and there's frequencies that are just different. How do we know our spiritual energy that we're not ejecting doesn't run light bulbs in a parallel that sits right over the top of us, vibrating at frequencies we can't interact with? How do we know that? We're not, for all intentional purposes, a Duracell, where our spiritual energy in a higher elevated or lower elevated, because I personally think it's beneath us, because they don't have souls like we do. Nobody has souls like human beings have souls. We make and produce monstrous amounts of spiritual energy. And that too is what this is about. Stealing your personal energy, stealing your faith, making you feel helpless and angry and all twisted up, because what do? You just get mad and scream and let go spiritual energy. That's the goal. That's part of the reason why they're torturing little children and drinking their blood, because no one has energy as pure as a child. So that's why Satanists and the satanic deal target them. There's no greater source of there's no greater source of pure energy. As we grow and as we learn and as we dumb down from pure spiritual energy, it gets tainted and less delicious to them. But anyway, look, big things are coming. Try to be positive. Try to remember God. Just think, okay, God is love. He may not be the God of the Bible we think he is. We know the divine, at least in the concept of the divine, and not the concept of the Trinity, because that's just for our age. Every age has one, and they run 4,000 to 6,000 years each age. Everything is cyclical. History repeats itself. We know this. These things should be common sense, but they're not. People are going to say I'm ignorant for saying this stuff. Well, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe you're about to find out you're ignorant. But you need to keep your head up. You need to stretch out and talk to each other and reach each other in love. And work together, because we're going to need there's a real tough time coming, and we're going to need each other. We're going to need to love each other. We're going to have to put our differences aside. to get through this, even if it's not a food hardship, which that's what the deep state's trying to do. They're destroying America, and they're going to starve us and kill us. And I'm just not going to say that particular method or mode again, because I personally, you know, try to hang on to my YouTube channel. They're commies, and I really don't give a rat's behind. I'm going to put this up on Rumble first. But one last thing to all you true socials out there, go eat a big one. Until True Social offers a platform for everybody and not just those special little Apple iPhonies, then it's not a viable platform for truth. You can't claim maybe half or whatever of the people and then say, well, crap on the rest of you, go buy an iPhone. No, personally, don't want an iPhone. So stick True Social up your rump. Really, until it's for everybody, it's for nobody. I'm getting so tired of that. God loves you. I love you. Have a blessed day. And you be cool. It's impossible for me, but I know you could do it.